Blessings, blessings, blessings. This is Will of M, and the M comes later. I'm back at you guys again with another fight of the year. This one happens between the chapters of 100 and 200. And weirdly enough, it happens in the year 1991. Let's jump right into it, okay? Now, the fight I'm talking about is, of course, Miyata versus Jimmy Sisfar. Happens in the 15th issue of Hajime no Ippo. It happens in Thailand. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think it's our first overseas fight that we see from a main character. If you're not counting, like, of course, I think Kamigawa was watching Sugar Ray Leonard on the video when it first starts, like the videotape of him. I also want to mention Ippo's perfect uppercut. I think it's talking about a boxer in England, but I'll do some research to have to finish editing this one up. So, as with always, before we get to the main fight, let's give some backstory to it, okay? Now, around this time, Ippo's rising in the ranks. He's going up higher, 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 and he's getting his name out there, okay? He has just defeated Okita Keigo, right? The Unbeloved. Made a video about him. He's able to get into the Class A tournament. He's jumped the rankings, and he's doing his stuff. He's doing his stuff. I believe he's ranked number 8. So he boosted up pretty high. Now, at this match, we see Date kind of peering at him, thinking to himself that Okita lost because his drive wasn't there. He wanted to be better than Date, whereas Ippo wants to surpass pretty much the world. He's more selfish in a way. And it's setting Date up to be the main villain. It's building him up and things like that. You know, and later on that night, he actually has a match. So, Ippo, riding on 10, knowing he got that rank, rushes back. Okita gives him a warning, but Ippo blows it off. He gets ready, zips up his pants, and gives himself a circumcision. Can't keep my dick in my pants. Now, during the match, I want to say Date was a little bit tight over his gym mate losing, because he fights a man named Suzuki, and he's ranked number 2 in Japan. And Date pummels him. He beats him, punishes him. He even uses his signature move, the Heartbreak Shot. And even Ippo flinches and grabs his chest, remembering how it felt. And I just want to say, Heartbreak Shot. That's one of my favorite moves. And I think it's amazing. I like the way it is. I like the concept of it, stopping time. Even when I first read it, I was like, oh, this move is amazing. I hope one day that Ippo will be able to copy it. And spoiler alert, he does. One of his fights. I'll make a video about that as well. I'm actually editing that. Oh, also, thank you to all my fans. I know I've been posting much less consistently, much more inconsistently. I just appreciate you guys' patience and sticking around, and just, understanding me, and even being mad and telling me I'm fucking up. I like the honesty. So thank you. I really appreciate that. Date knocks him out, beats him bad, pummels him, stands over him like a demon. It's so bad, even Takamura questions Ippo, like, you want to fight this guy? Like, you want to fight this beast?
And I come at you, you better not duck me, son. You better not duck me, son. I'm telling you. Hey, that's what we're doing, baby. That's what we're doing.
Takamura helps Ippo out with the stare down, because backing down a little bit. He almost knocked his head off. But he saw his head, his fist had clenched up and shaking a little bit, so he understood that, okay, there's a little fire there, And next up, we get some cover page love for Miyata. In chapter 215, he's on the front cover out in Thailand. It's a touristy photo, but you can tell he's on business. He's standing on business the way he carried himself, even has a blazer on. That nice little, it happened at the end of the 80s, but it's like the 80s cocaine, Miami Vice look. He's ready for business. Fuji shows up and gives the gang like a newspaper, and they're reading it. And they're shocked to see that Miyata took a draw in an overseas match. And on top of that, he had 2 knockdowns. And he's like, what is going on? I don't understand him. Especially Ippo, he's like, he's a surrogate audience member. He speaks for us. Like, you knocked him down twice inside a draw. That makes no sense. Knocks him down, so it's going to be a 10-8 round. Maybe a 10-9 do your shit, but like, that means he must have lost every round besides that. But obviously, that's not the case. So Kamigawa lets it be known there's a thing called the hometown advantage, and he had that. Like, he's from here. Just give him extra points. Just give it to him. Last 2 rounds, the championship rounds, just give it to him. Let him have it. And they're also surprised by Miyata's article. It's smaller. It's on the corners, black and white. They're like, God damn, it's gonna be tough times over there. And I just wanted to point out, like, even though Ippo is the main character, he has his tough times too, don't get me wrong. It always seems like Miyata has a tougher or the tougher times, you know what I mean? Like, it never seems like Ippo's challenges outweigh Miyata's, you know? And he actually touched on that in this arc. Because, you know, even like Sasuke or Gojo, people like they're naturally geniuses, it always seems like, okay, they're geniuses, they're in control. I mean, think about it, Miyata got beat by a stranger at the gym. Came in there, trained for 3 months, whooped his ass, and he's always going through harsh weight training. I think he's 172 centimeters. I don't know how tall it is. I'll get it for you. But I'm 175, about 5'9". You know, so for my body type, it'll be hard for me to be in his weight class. And so you already know for his body type, well, I guess it does not a good example, but it's hard for him to be in his weight class. And he should go to lightweight like Aoki, but he stays there for a chance to fight Ippo. And I like him, even back then, they're telling him to get past him, even though it's not going to happen.
Turn me out.
He's constantly put himself in these tough times, these tough trainings. And in my opinion, he's had some of the better competition. Arnie Gregory, the OPBF champion, was an amazing fight. And on top of that, because when Ippo got the belt, he just beat the guy he beat before. He just might beat somebody new. Now, granted, Sendo did level up. He used his legs, had his footwork right, he beat Psyche quick. But it wasn't that he had a lot of time being a champion, you know. And I also, as Arnie Gregory was a new character to us. It seemed like besides, I want to say Shigetsu, Takashi, Akira. When Sendo beat him, the Southpaw, that's the first time we saw his beast and his rage. Like, oh, this guy's not gonna mess with him. But after that, it's like, oh, he's beating people we've seen him before, and losing people we've seen him lose before. I digress. The team goes forward and say how Ippo pretty much widened the gap, and they blame him. They start teasing. No, they always fucking with him. And the truth is, he did though. You know, Miyata's in the enemy lands. Ippo's still surpassing him, and it's like, what can I do? You know, what can he really do? He's out here stuck. We didn't switch back to Miyata Senior's perspective. He argues a decision because they're wrong. The crowd actually turns on him. Start throwing trash into the ring, back almost like a Marvin Hagler one. Throw trash into the ring and hits him in the head and just gives a sorrowful look. This is sad. They go back to his waiting room. They find out this is supposed to be his comeback fight after losing to Mishiba. And he's in the room, he's thinking to himself, and he's like, what am I doing here, you know? And he's like, they called him a genius and pumped his head up so early, but are those words really mean anything? What's happening to him in the ring currently? Shows him training, run on the beach in Thailand, and his dad's like, look at, he's 18 years old, getting up all the pleasures in life. His body can't maintain his weight. He's not having fun. He's losing his life just to be a pro boxer. But like, it shows that the sacrifice that is necessary, the constant training that has to go on to live this type of lifestyle. He's at the gym, people are whispering, just little words here and there. One of the guys, Papaya, who speaks a little bit of Japanese, Miyata goes over there to accost him. And he's like, what are they saying about me? And mind you, he put this man against the wall, put his hand over him, like, hey, yo, hey, yo. But they said he has no heart. Like, he's scared. They're not hungry. They run away, the Japanese, because he didn't take the offer to fight Jimmy Shispa. Miyata goes in front of his dad. Now, granted, his dad knew what it was. He said, man, you can't beat him, man. You ain't got it in you, son. You don't got that in you.
Baby, you just ain't got that dog in you. I'm sorry.
Miyata's like, enough of this shit, okay? You're not my dad, you're my trainer. Talk to me like my trainer. Like, yo, this guy's perfect. 10 boxing matches, 10 wins, 10 knockouts. He's had 32 wins and 32 KOs on the Muay Thai side of it. More experience, he's better. And they hit harder in Muay Thai. It's your fucking legs, they kick. It's like, you just don't have it. Your little counters aren't gonna do shit to him. 2 of your counters aren't gonna do anything to him. It's not happening, son. I don't see it going down. And Miyata says some cold stuff. He's like, I know they're not the strongest punches. I know that. They're my hands. But all I have are these punches. If I accept they're not going to work for me, that means that they betrayed me and I'll never fight again. I'll never fight again. He says, I'm not going to give up, so I'm going to challenge him. Now we see some more deep stuff, right? Miyata Sr. talks about how he gave up on his fist and he couldn't step in the ring again. And his son's facing the same problem right now. Again, Miyata facing the harder challenges than Ippo. He came to the same conclusion. He came to the same obstacle with only different conclusions. Here's over to Jimmy. Jimmy's knocking people out. He's knocking out the knocking out the sparring partner, knocking on the heavy bag. It's they were making this new Kyoshi Galaxy guy, which was like a champion at the time. They were making him a new version of that, and like a sit on behalf of the Taiwanese people, or people of Thailand. I won't mess that up. Sorry if I did.
Don't turn me out.
I'm a professional shit talker. But one of the kids, Papayo's little brother, Chana, he asked Miyata to teach him about counters and stuff. And I was like, my counters are nothing special, and it gets in his head. He has been thinking he had the perfect technique. The counter was the best thing to do in the world. We have flashbacks how people laughed at his dad for losing, and he wanted to believe in his father. His boxing did work on the world level, and it does. But the counters must be improved upon. It's a special move that make it better. That's when he comes to a conclusion that to get counter to surpass all counters, the strongest one out there. The same as equals, I need Deb Schofield beat anybody, which I love it. We're gonna work on the special moves to the highest degree. What you see happen, it works and doesn't work. Like say in the case of Koshi, he just upgraded his Saiken, but it did not work. Like he still lost to Mr. One Round. But yeah, so and also he's surprised seeing the kids outside training so young, because in Thailand they have to fight for money basically. They can make money from fighting, so they start young, about 5 years old. And one of these kids look just like Kanta Mizuno. If you guys know where anime Kanta Mizuno is from, without looking up, comment below. See what real anime weebs out there are. So Miyata begins his hellish training, passing out in the sauna, running in the middle of a squall, which Japanese tourists and shows aren't used to. Heavy rainfall. China brings him an umbrella even though it does nothing, and asked Miyata, why do you even do this? You don't even seem happy. Miyata's like, there's a small moment of laughter that only boxers can experience. And I think that comes down to an ego thing where your pride wants to know it can overcome a situation just on your own fist and merit and on your own techniques and figuring things out. The day of the fight happens. The odds are 30-1. Chana and Papayo are rushing over to the stadium because they're late. They're running late. The fight already started. And Papayo's bet his life savings on the match. Cheese and peace. So they go inside, make it to the match. And Miyata is losing. He's been losing the last couple rounds. Jimmy's been beating on him. And it started off promising. He had a cool little stare down. But man, oh man. Miyata is wearing his ass whooping. He's wearing it. He goes for a Joe counter, then stepping all the way. Misses, gets popped, bow, gets dropped. Has to get back up. His dad's giving him advice. Corner's giving him advice. He's still finding trouble with it. He goes for it again. Before he can even get it in, Jenny creams on one of his right hooks. Bow! One of his powerful signature moves is inside hooks. Knocks Miyata into the ropes. He falls down. It looks like it's done. Looks like it's over. He's laying on his back, head against the ropes. But he still has a look in his eye. Still has his heart going. And he rises back up. And we rise back up. Luckily, the round ends. His dad's giving advice. He's talking to him. He says, Dad, wait, do you hear that? Do you hear that? And he sees his eardrum has been busted. His equilibrium is off. It's looking bad for the boy. You understand, next round is the last round. Even Jim is like, he's most surprised he got back up from his fist. His heart is too much, but in the next round, it's going to be his downfall. It all comes down to this. They get in there, going at it, they're jabbing up, going for it. Jimmy's throwing hooks. Miyata is getting off balance because equilibrium is off because of his eardrum being ruptured. He tilts over and he's wobbling, but that was all he needed. That was all he needed. As Jimmy goes for a right uppercut, Miyata puts all his body weight and comes down and brings in a smash. Hits Jimmy flush, knocks him down, looks like he knocks his tooth out, has him laid out, face down in a pool of blood on the canvas. Cherry on top, chef's kiss. Fight of the year. Fight of the year. 1991, Thailand has some heat. They had some heat. That's because Miyata Ichiro, the Thunder God, came to town. The next moment, one of my favorites, Miyata like he's almost praying. The crowd cheers to go deafening, and it gets quiet, and he has a shocked look on his face as he turns around. He doesn't want Jim to get up. He gave it all he had to take. He gave it all he had. And he turns around to see The towel being thrown in. It's over. He has now won. He has won, all right? And he got the people paid. Papayo has won 30-1 on his life savings. He's going to ball out, all right? He's going to ball out.
I start acting retarded in here.
Now, we come to Miyata leaving thing, and China sees him give a little smile, a little smirk. He says, that's the moment of laughter he was looking for. He pumps his arm, gives a guts pose, shows his heart. He's going back home to Japan. He's going back home to Japan. Papa drives him to the airport. It's a brand new car. Wow. Whipping the Benz. All right, Bugatti. He's riding good. He's so happy. He brings his luggage and everything. They're excited. He gets down low and tells China, most important things are timing and heart when it comes to these counters. Occurs in different translations. But he touched him. I think China's going to be a counterpuncher. And later on, actually, Miyata's one of his opponents, I want to say Magboy or Dagboy or something, his daughter is friends with China and tries to get encouragement from him. So I think China will become a boxer. It's like almost like Alfredo gave encouragement to his kids. So like how boxing kind of like an eternal loop situation. As Miyata's on the way back home, he realizes he can't go to Japan just yet. He can't go back home just. His dad's talking about like they're gonna, since we can't get the second-rate boxers aren't gonna want to fight us anymore because we Jimmy was fellow strong boxers. Like easier said than done. His mind's more on equal. Like what would I do? Like what rank would I be? Where would he be? How much stronger has he gotten? Like when you return to Japan, he's going to Korea next. When he returns to Japan, you see how strong he's got. And it says like. It took off as a kid. I read this, I thought I was so hyped. But now, as the Ipo was going on, I see how sad it really was. Like, it said Miyata, 18 years old, for that summer, the world below him was his challenge. His challenge doesn't stop. The world below him was his enemy. He wasn't stopping. He just keep going hard. And just see how much he put into fighting Ipo for it not to happen. And that's why I see why he apologized so tough during the Randy Boy Jr. arc. Which, another note, he got up in this arc the same way Randy got up in his arc. They both knocked each other down. He got knocked down by Jimmy, and when Randy got knocked down by him, it got up in the same way. I don't know if that was just like a subconscious choice or a stylistic choice. But I like the callback to it. You kind of getting up almost like a zombie, like you're possessed. Just like no thoughts in the head, it's just moving on pure instinct. But it shows how much effort he put in Fight Ipo just not to get it, and also how he really is holding himself back from the world. Because you notice what they're doing in this arc is the exact same thing Ipo did in the surviving the Asian Champions arc. And when Ipo finished all that up, he was able to go get a world title. He was closer to getting a world title match than he was before just fighting in Japan. So it just shows how he just held himself back really to get there. But this came out more as a review because I've been doing like a lot of reviews lately. Instead of the natural fight of the year format I like using, where it's just like kind of talks about the little parts before the match, during the match, and a little bit afterwards. So they're not all going to be like this just because I'm kind of in a review chapter mode right now. Also, I did an honorable mention. Date vs. Ipo was a fire one. It was tough to choose between which one was which, but I had to give it to Miyata. But Ipo Date was a fire match. Yeah, I liked how he fought to it. He fought his butt off, fought his brakes off, and fought to the end. And I love reading it. But I just felt I felt more for Jimmy and Miyata's storyline as opposed to Ipo and his. And that could have been because we had so much time with Date, built up to Date before getting there. Because Jimmy's kind of new he's fresh off, like he's a new villain, kind of popped up, so how strong he is, and we jumped right into it. Date, we already seen his strength and he's been built up, and I was like, Another side note, this arc's only supposed to be 1 or 2 chapters because the concept of spinoffs hadn't happened yet. And Morikawa was scared for it to turn years off without having the main character in it. But he actually took his time, wrote an excellent arc. I really did appreciate him for that. You can see Miyata's character. Because I feel like Ipo's really driven, at least for me, by the side characters, not so much Ipo himself. And I feel like him and Miyata have the same, like they're co-mains to me. Both are necessary for the story.